Thank you. Can you all hear me?
Yep.
Thank you for staying till the end. It's brilliant to see so many people here. Thank you to the organisers for inviting me to speak on behalf of Labour Women's Declaration of Scotland. I'm going to start with a test for you all. Who was paying attention to the debate on implementing the Supreme Court judgment in the Chamber in Holyrood in September? It was on September the 17th. I'm going to quote something that was said by a politician in that debate, and I'm going to see if you know who it was. Pam, I think you should get this right. This MSP said, "A court is a place to settle debates and clear up confusion." And they went on, "It should be simple." They're talking about the Supreme Court judgment here. "It should be simple. The court has clarified the law. We're all bound by the law. We should respect it. We should implement it. There is no need to wait for more guidance or consultations to follow the law. All we're asking is for the Scottish Government to follow the law. They cannot both be lawmakers and lawbreakers, because just as the Supreme Court provides clarity to the Scottish Government, there are countless public sector employers in Scotland who rely on the Scottish Government to provide clarity to them." Who was that?
Russell Findlay.
It wasn't Russell Findlay.
Jackie Baillie.
I hear somebody saying it. I'm very pleased to confirm it was in fact Jackie Baillie, Deputy Leader of Scottish Labour, speaking in Parliament. That entirely sensible position shouldn't be controversial at all, and in normal times it wouldn't even need saying. And I remember Jackie's words last week at the STUC conference when I met a woman who works for a voluntary sector organisation which gets 60% of its funding from the Scottish Government. She told me, this woman that I met told me, that her organisation wants to revise its policies on single-sex spaces in line with the Supreme Court judgment, but the noise in the press has left them confused about the legal position. This is a small organisation. They've sought their own legal advice using their own scarce resources, but activists within that organisation insist that the advice they've had is wrong. And so that organisation does nothing. It takes no action. It changes no policies. This is an absurd waste of time, effort and money, and it's underscored by a shocking disregard for the law. The Scottish Government knows full well what the law is, as clarified by the Supreme Court. Jackie Baillie rightly said that the Scottish Government cannot both be lawmakers and lawbreakers, but that's exactly what they appear to be. They could write to all government-funded voluntary organisations next week, setting out the law and requiring all those organisations to implement it properly as a condition of continued government funding. They could do that next week. They should have done it 6 months ago. Instead, all we see is prevarication and failure to act. And we also see failure to act regarding the school's guidance. In that guidance, teachers are told to socially transition pupils of any age on request, without discussion with parents if that's what the child wants. They're told that it's straightforward and kind to affirm a vulnerable child's self-diagnosis of being born in the wrong body. This guidance doesn't so much as mention any of the findings of the Cass review. It doesn't tell teachers that social transition is a significant and highly risky psychological intervention. It doesn't say that children and young people claiming a transgender identity are a vulnerable group with complex problems for whom safeguarding is more, not less important. And the recommended teaching resources in the guidance present the contested ideological beliefs of gender identity theory, that gender identity trumps biological sex. They present those as indisputable truths to be taught to pupils as settled facts. This guidance should never have been issued, and it should certainly have been withdrawn after the publication of the Cass Review final report.
Yes!
It's scandalous that it's still in place, endorsed by the Scottish Government. So, what should we do? Yes, we should keep up the pressure on the current government, but as Elaine said, let's look ahead to next May, because we need a government that will take women's rights seriously. Now, you've probably had campaigners from various political parties knocking at your door in the run-up to many elections. I've started doing it already. If you live in my constituency, I might be turning up at your house one day soon. Here's the thing. Did you know that every time an issue is raised on the doorstep, every time a question is asked, every time an opinion is sought, it's reported back and recorded by the party? So please, 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 engage with every campaigner who knocks on your door. Don't feel it's not worth it. Every campaigner, every party. It's likely that the person on your doorstep isn't the candidate, but don't let that stop you. Let's make implementation of the law on sex and gender one of the top issues in the election. If you don't get a satisfactory answer on the doorstep, ask for a call back from the candidate. They want your vote, they'll likely do that. Go to hustings, call your own like Elaine said, but also go to every hustings in your constituency that you can. Have your questions ready. Ask your candidates what they will do to get the school's guidance withdrawn and revised in line with the law and the CAS review. Ask them about single-sex provision in the places and sectors that matter to you. Ask them about the definition of lesbian and gay on the basis of sex. Ask them about the gathering of sex-based data. Keep asking, because as Jackie said, all we're asking for is for the Scottish Government to follow the law. And if this current government won't, next spring, let's elect one that will. Thank you. Thank you.